Hey, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to share with you one of the most terrifying stories I've ever come across. This is about a road that exists somewhere in the remote areas of our country. A road that locals refuse to travel on after sunset. A road where countless people have reported experiencing things that defy all logical explanation. So if you're watching this alone at night, maybe turn on some lights because what you're about to hear will send chills down your spine. And if you enjoy horror content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss another scary story. All right, let's dive into the tale of the haunted road. It all started about 15 years ago when a young couple, let's call them Rahul and Priya, were driving back home from a wedding. They had stayed longer than planned at the celebration, and by the time they hit the road, it was already past midnight. Rahul was an experienced driver, and Priya trusted him completely. They had taken this route several times before during the day, but never at night. The road cut through dense forest on both sides, and streetlights were practically non-existent. The moon that night was barely visible, hidden behind thick clouds that seemed to grow darker with every passing minute. As they drove deeper into the forested stretch, Priya noticed something odd. The usual sounds of the night, the crickets, the occasional owl, the rustling of leaves, everything had gone completely silent. It was as if nature itself was holding its breath. She mentioned this to Rahul, but he just laughed it off, saying that maybe the animals were asleep. But deep down, even he felt something was not quite right. The air inside the car seemed to grow colder despite the heater being on, and an inexplicable sense of dread began to creep into both their hearts. About 20 minutes into this stretch of road, their car headlights caught something unusual. Standing right in the middle of the road was a woman. She was wearing a white sari, and her long black hair cascaded down her back. She stood completely still, not moving an inch, even though a car was approaching her. Rahul immediately slowed down and honked, expecting her to move aside. But she didn't. She just stood there, motionless, like a statue. As they got closer, Priya grabbed Rahul's arm tightly. Something about this woman felt wrong, deeply wrong. Rahul stopped the car about 10 meters away from her. He rolled down his window slightly and called out, asking if she needed help. There was no response. The woman remained still, her face hidden as she looked down at the ground. Rahul looked at Priya, uncertainty written all over his face. Should they help her, or should they just drive around her and leave? Priya's instincts screamed at her to just go, to not engage with this woman. But Rahul, being the kind-hearted person he was, decided to step out of the car. The moment Rahul opened the car door, the temperature seemed to drop even further. Priya begged him not to go, but he reassured her that he would just check quickly and come back. As he walked toward the woman, each step felt heavier than the last. When he was about 5 meters away, he called out again, asking if she was okay, if she needed a ride somewhere. And that's when it happened. The woman slowly began to raise her head. Rahul froze in his tracks. What he saw made his blood run cold. Her face was pale, almost gray in color, and her eyes were completely black. No whites, no pupils, just an endless void of darkness. Her mouth twisted into an unnaturally wide smile that stretched from ear to ear, revealing teeth that seemed too sharp, too many. Rahul stumbled backward, his heart pounding so hard he could hear it in his ears. The woman took a step toward him, and then another, her movements jerky and unnatural, like a broken puppet being pulled by invisible strings. Rahul turned and ran back to the car as fast as he could. He jumped into the driver's seat, locked all the doors, and without saying a word, hit the accelerator. The car lurched forward, swerving around the woman. Priya was crying, asking what happened. What did he see? But Rahul couldn't speak. He just kept driving, his knuckles white from gripping the steering wheel so tightly. In the rearview mirror, he glanced back one last time. The woman was still standing in the middle of the road, but now she was facing their direction, watching them drive away, that horrifying smile still plastered on her face. But the nightmare wasn't over. About 5 minutes later, Priya screamed. Rahul looked at her in panic, and she pointed at the back seat with a trembling finger. Sitting there, in the back seat of their car, was the same woman. She was right there, behind them, her black eyes staring directly at Rahul through the rearview mirror, that same twisted smile on her face. Rahul didn't know what to do. His mind went blank. How did she get in? The doors were locked. They didn't stop. This was impossible. The woman in the back seat slowly leaned forward, her face coming closer and closer to the gap between the two front seats. Priya was hyperventilating, and Rahul was pushing the accelerator to its limit, driving faster than he ever had before. And then, just as suddenly as she appeared, the woman vanished. 1 second she was there, and the next, the back seat was empty. Both Rahul and Priya were in complete shock. They didn't speak for the rest of the journey. They just wanted to get home, to get away from that cursed road. When they finally reached home, they were both physically and emotionally exhausted. They didn't sleep that night. Every time they closed their eyes, they saw those black eyes and that terrifying smile. The next morning, Rahul decided to report what happened to the local police station. But when he described the location and the incident, the officer's expression changed. He became very serious and asked Rahul to sit down. What the officer told them next made their blood run cold all over again. That stretch of road, the officer explained, was infamous in the area. Over the past 10 years, there had been dozens of reports of a woman in white appearing on that road.